I know it's cold outside. Come on, baby, keep you satisfied. All you gotta do is move. Every time you feel my groove, it ain't nothing but a party. It ain't nothing but a party. No, it ain't nothing but a party. It ain't nothing but a house party. Don, 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 don. Move it. Groove it. Baby, don't you lose it. I said shout it. Pound it. Baby, don't even shout it. It ain't nothing but a party. Nothing but a party. It's nothing but a house party. Down, 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 down. Boston's very own, the Jake Isles Band, here at WSUL. That's right. All rock all the time. Welcome back to the Smoking Puck. It is your Boston-based Bruins biased hockey show. Pertinera Weekly. And we're here where Bear, get used to it. He's an electric rodent. I'm a mammal. I'm a human. Somewhere in between is another life form called the Bruin, a brown bear. And it's the spirit animal of my local hockey club. Hi, this is the Smoking Puck. It's Reverend Sully here at the Reverend Sully Network, a.k.a. Eric O'Sullivan here at the Eric O'Sullivan channel. You have made it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, think about hitting that subscribe button and becoming one with us, one of us. We make different kind of content here. We're a different kind of channel. You can't peg us down. We befuddle and confuse the algorithm. And that's why we need more subscribers. And if you smash that like button, if you hit that hype button, leave a comment, hit that share button, any of these things helps this small channel grow. We also talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef. We talk about really yummy food. I'm a comic book collector and reader. If you might have seen me on Wes's Thinking Critical's Saturday show, The Comics Aficionados. If you've come from there, welcome. We talk hockey here. I am a lifelong hockey fan. I am from Boston. I never left. And the Bruins are my team. I got two Brad Marchand jerseys. I should have three. I should have got the captain jersey. This was the reverse retro from a few years back, and that's an assistant captain's jersey in the Patrice Bergeron captaincy days. And be the first to get the vaunted, wantable no prize. Yeah, just like what Marvel used to do. Like it's a no prize. The Reverend Sully no prize. Who is that Bruin behind me here? Who is that Bruin? Well, it's kind of giving it away on the sleeve. And people are like, you wear that shirt? And I'm like, okay, I do. Who's one of my favorite defensemen? Oh boy, I just kind of like gave it up there, huh? Welcome to the Smoking Puck. That's right. We have some. You notice the dasher? Yes, it's. Hopefully, the spelling is okay today. What I like to do is, besides make YouTube content and watch hockey, read funny books, eat food, make beautiful, delicious, nutritious food and you can make it home. There's a playlist for that. We also talk about spirituality. Gratitude is a driving principle of myself and this show. It's my job to pay it forward, to turn you on to being grateful. It's helped me and it could help you. Seriously, I've been using a gratitude list for over 6 years now, and it's had the biggest impact on my life. And I'm paying it forward. Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic suggested two things to me that were really, really spot on. That's really helped me. One, being a YouTuber. He said, get a decent webcam, a really good microphone, and have something to say and know how to say it. I mean, that the last part is elaboration in my kind of distilling of his wisdom. But the other two were almost direct quotes. And the other one was, hey, have you adopted a gratitude list? Like, it will help you. And he was right. It really helped me, and it reformatted my life and reformatted my self-talk. and I'm a happier person for it. These are the show notes Pikachu wrote. Pikachu is my executive producer. He's also the accountant and the ombudsman. I am just the talent. If you have any concerns, questions about the content, about the comments made on this show, about attitudes or opinions, please address it to Pikachu. He's the executive producer, the accountant, and the ombudsman. The ombudsman is the person in the newspaper that would answer complaints. I think the ombudsman. I don't know if like the Boston Globe has an ombudsman anymore. Let's ask. I like this. This is what the internet's good for. Does the Boston, not the Boton, no Botox, Boston Globe still have an ombuds. Ombuds. Check. I moved my mic a little bit, and so it just cut out a little bit. I heard that. But does the Boston Globe? No, the Boston Globe does not currently have a formal ombudsman or public editor, a role that many news organizations eliminated due to financial pressures. Yeah, sure. It was called the internet, and that everyone had a voice. It's impossible to have an ombudsman now. Though some columnists and media observers have advocated for its return to enhance public trust and accountability, while they lacked a dedicated ombudsman, they have consumer advocacy in the form of Sean P. Murphy's fine print content, blah, blah, blah. That's just that's not an ombudsman. Like, we have to, let's look it up as a word. Search Google. You Googleize. An ombudsman is an independent official who investigates complaints, advocates for fairness, and resolves disputes, often within government, large organizations, or specific sectors like long-term care, working to ensure rights are upheld and providing a confidential, free way to address grievances against unfair treatments or service failures. Yeah, and so the Boston Globe, one of the most prestigious newspapers on the planet, no longer has an ombudsman, a role that was a vibrant part of the structure of a newspaper, editorialship of its the typewriters typing, just like you hear in the movies. You don't hear that anymore. Well, what do you hear? What do you say? What do you know? Oh, we didn't put the music on. Gee. Pikachu, you're supposed to. You're supposed to. It's part of the thing of recording at your home studio. I could be doing this on my mobile studio, on my iPhone 17 Pro Max, which has a great camera, and it's a really nice gadget. It really is, especially if you're a YouTuber on the go. I mean, I am mostly, and then I do studio stuff, such as Wes's Thinking Critical, my own comic show that I'm kind of flaking on here and there, but I'm okay with that because I'm kidding. I got this hockey show, and I really am digging the hell out of getting back into hockey after letting the field lie fallow for a few seasons to perhaps get back the nitrates in that soil so it grasp onto some seed and become a fertile place for new trees to rise up and to turn into hockey sticks. That's about it. You see over there, that's my Terry O'Reilly bobblehead. I got it Terry O'Reilly night. I saw at his number retirement. I ran into him one time in the old Boston Garden. I was wearing my Ray Bork jersey. Might have been with Brian Massey. I'm not sure. Was I? But we ran into Terry O'Reilly in the hallway. He was smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, hey, Terry, will you sign my shirt? He just like shrugged his shoulders, signed it, and went on his way. He didn't even talk to us. He just like, oh, okay. Same thing with Derek Sanderson. I handed, like, I went up to the booth, and I was like, hey, Turk, you signed my shirt? And same deal. He's smoking a cigarette, and he just turns around. That old thing, the old Ray Bork jersey, lost to the sands of time. But yeah, it is the Smoking Puck. It is your Boston-based, Bruins-based, Bruins-biased weekly hockey show. That's right. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to for you to be part of the gang. And if anyone out there tells me Donnie Sweeney never wore an A on that style of Bruins jersey, I offer you proof that he has. But he also, I believe this was taken during a preseason game when he was wearing, because he wasn't really the real alternate until like later when they had the uniform switch, But yeah, that's oops. Hey, no. Oh, no prize. Oh, there wasn't a prize anyway. Don't worry about it. Pikachu can't afford it. Not in his budget. But really, it's time to talk a little hockey. Let's get down in the nitty gritty. What's going on in our hockey world? Well, let's look at the Dasher. What do we got? What do we got? Magnificence. What do we got? Ooh. 1, 2. Look at it again. Same to the bang, with a bing, bang, bing. 2, butter in the face. Wakes you up for that awful place. To the back end, the boot. Hold you up and learn those rules. Give it up. What? Don't stop. Give it all you got. Give it up. What? Do it. Yeah. How long is the Olympic break? Well, actually, we had something. Oh yeah. No. First things first. I wanted to come back to a subject I brought up a couple of weeks back. Oh shit, that's not the. I'm trying to do a timer. I'm trying to do a better show, like a more structured kind of show. Like, gee, here we go. Pikachu should have had all this stuff done before the show started, but he is a stuffed animal, stuffed with fluff. He's a prop. Come on. When did the word elite become such a phenomenon describing good to great things in the NHL? I feel it's a recent enough thing. You describe the common good, all stuff. When elite, it's used to describe players like Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Patrick Roy, Grant Fuhr, Raymond Bourque. They're all stars. Great players. And great players, record breakers. They left an impression on the game. And I usually ask these things to Grok, the AI of Twitter X, formerly Twitter X, and apparently it's Trey Gauche, which is ironic because it's usually people on that side of the aisle who make that judgment, and they're like, oh, you use Grok. I pay $8 for bloody Twitter. I have for 4 years, so it's like, yeah, why not? I pay for it. It's like, it's just, it's a simple, I've gotten Grok in a few snafus, but still, who hasn't? No shit. It's just a kid. The term elite has been part of the NHL lingo for describing top tier players and teams since at least the late 2000s. And this is based on archived media and online discussions, but it's overuse. And that's what I'm talking about now. It's recent overuse. Like every show talks about elite players. Every stat, elite players. Remember, there are 32 teams. There are 23 players that are on the players roster per team. So that's 736 players active on any given week, day, month, and how many of those are elite players? And remember, if you have to have like 2 good players on each team, I mean, are there literally 100 elite players? How is that possible? It's supposed to mean something, but it's over. Thank you. Sorry about that. What you just saw was inspired by lap 2 of the pod race scene in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Anakin did some quick fixing on his pod racer after Sebulba tinkered with it and tried to, get him to, lose by tinkering with it. I apologize for any sound stuff that's going on. It's maybe I have to unplug everything and dust everything, maybe. In coverage. All right, so before that, legends like Orr, Gretzky, and Lemieux were often called great, superstar, or all-time best in coverage from the 1970s to the 1990s. Elite popped up occasionally in scouting reports or league previews, but it wasn't thrown around casually like it is now. The shift likely ties into a few factors. 1. Fantasy hockey and video games. EA's NHL series has long used elite as a player rating category, influencing how fans talk about real players. Fantasy leagues amplified this, turning elite into shorthand for a high-value asset. And that's in fantasy hockey. It's all about numbers, and that's all about stats. And fantasy hockey, you make a lot of changes especially when people go dip in their ratings. It's like there doesn't seem to be any loyalty in fantasy hockey. Fantasy hockey is all about some accumulated, statistical worth. Youth hockey and marketing hype. As early as 2011, elite was called out as a buzzword in youth sports to lure parents into pricey programs or select teams. And that's from ESPN. It's an ESPN an ESPN article. I can open that in the link. It's an ESPN article from Tim Keown from August 24th, 2011. And it's about letting parents watch out for, not to fall for this, this baseball camp, elite baseball camp. Well, it's just the baseball bunch. No one elite here, just a bunch of kids. Some guy that probably, rode a bus for, who cares? I mean, just being judgmental. Youth hockey and marketing hype. And that was in an ESPN.com article. This trickled up to the pro levels where NHL teams and broadcasters use it to sell tickets, jerseys, and narratives. Hyping a good player as elite to build excitement. I'm probably close on blaming the chick from marketing. If we go just good old-fashioned Sully misogyny, which is a staple of this show and channel, is just it doesn't matter that I'm, older, wiser, happier, reconciled, anything, forgiven, I'm never forget, but went my own way. But yeah, there's no punching down on any vulnerable or marginalized communities, individuals, or groups here at this channel. We start off the description of every show with that disclaimer, and we believe in that too, because there should be some healthy joking around remaining to us, in our golden years. That's about it. Yeah. Humor, and that's the first thing the tyrants try to squash, is humor. It's not about applause. It's about laughter. It really is. Think about it. Think about your late night talk shows. Hopefully I'm your late night talk show. Hopefully it's 11:48 p.m. on some random weeknight, and you just don't want to look at Kimmel's, jerky face anymore. Or Colbert's, whatever magnetism he possesses. Maybe he's dancing as some kind of syringe again. Maybe that will get you. We're talking about jabs. If I'm probably close on blaming. Now this is Grok talking to me, because I always blame the chick in marketing, the woman in marketing. I know it's stupidity. It's not misogyny. It's making fun of the status quo. It really is. I'm probably close on blaming the chick for marketing. If it's a jab at how league and teams marketing amps up the hype machine with trendy terms to appeal to casual fans. The NHL's push under new CMO, what's that, a corporate, machine, marketing officer, Heidi Browning, hired in 2016, focused on digital engagement and broadening appeal, which often involves glossy descriptors like elite in promos and social media. No direct smoking gun here at the Smoking Bug, tying her specifically to overusing elite, but it fits the era of polished fan growth strategies that dilute once rare labels. If it's not her, it could be just a satirical nod to generic marketing types, co-opting hockey speak, similar to how world-class or generational gets overplayed today. Yeah, generational is such an overplayed word. What does it even mean anymore? Overall, it's not brand new, though. Pre-2010 uses exist, like calling Crosby or rookies elite in 2009 posts. But the phenomenon of it describing everything from all-stars to above-average guys feels like a 2010s and onward thing, aligning with my sense of it being recent enough. And I go on to say, yeah, but Sidney Crosby is an elite player. Is Charlie McAvoy one of my defensemen, one of my high-paid defensemen, what of $9,500,000 per season defenseman? That's elite pay. His agent negotiated that and got it. Who else gets paid a lot? Jeremy Swayman, $8,250,000 a year, and he had that famous waiting period last year where he missed training camp and he held out until he got a great sum, and he even said, hey, I'm doing this for my family, and there's nothing wrong with that. Then there was like a Cam Neely grousing in the media that started off this huge firestorm in the Elias Lindholm, $7,750,000. Jeez. Morgan Geeky, $5,500,000. The league average, league, because we're going to get into that too at the end of the show with our last subject, which is Bruins Talk. We're talking about a major injury to one of our, big time defensemen, our big three defensemen, who makes $6,500,000 a year. And what is the league average? It's about $3.2 million. We're going to get into that detail a little later. But Morgan Geeky, who might or might not be an elite player. I mean, he's on a scoring tier. Is Morgan Geeky an elite player? His stick fell asleep. I know that one. That's what she said. Seriously, Morgan Geeky hasn't scored a goal in several games now. I mean, if I was a real hockey, journalist, I'd know exactly how many. What's that? This is why we asked the internet. You scored a goal. How long has it been since Morgan Geeky scored a goal? I asked this as of January 12th. Well, it's actually the 13th because we're airing this tomorrow before the Bruins game, before the Bruins, the original six tilt of the Bruins hosting the Detroit Red Wings, who currently are in sole possession of first place here in the Atlantic Division. So this is one of those 4-point games where we gain 2 and they lose 2. Morgan Geeky is in an 8-game goal drought. His last game, he was he was on an 8-game goalless streak. Yeah. And he was extremely hot for a very long time. But is he still an elite player? What have you done for me lately is more like it. But he gets $5,500,000 a year. Is Morgan Geeky an elite player? Maybe not. I'm okay with that. He's a good player, and I'm happy to have him. He shows up. He's really good for the team. He's selling jerseys. But will people call him elite because it's like the end thing to do? Probably. Is he a generational player? What the fuck does that even mean? Let me see. Once in a generation, a slayer comes. A girl awakens. Generate player. What does an NHL generational player mean? An NHL is an exceptionally rare talent, appearing perhaps once a decade or two, who possesses unique, transcendent skills that set them far apart from other elite players, often redefining positions or the game itself. With names like Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux, or Sidney Crosby. Hey. Sid the Kid is now Sid the middle-aged man, and he's still a friggin' good hockey player. That's interesting. Yeah, a generational player. Yeah, I've heard that get knocked around a lot. Generational player, my foot. Turn that down. Holy shit. What am I doing here? Can they hear me? Pika? But what is, I'm spot on that Sidney Crosby is undeniably elite. He's been in that conversation since his rookie year with Hall of Fame level consistency, leadership, two-way play, and production that still holds up at 38 years old. He's a franchise cornerstone, not just good, but Charlie McAvoy? This is Grok talking here. This is Grok talk. He's a very good defenseman. He's a good to great defenseman. Top pair of minutes, strong possession numbers. He's been a key piece for the Bruins for years, but calling him elite in the same breath as Crosby, Cale Makar, Fox from the New York Rangers, or Victor Hedman, it seems like a stretch for many fans and analysts. He's Norris caliber in some seasons, but not consistently in the top 5 to 7 defenseman conversation league-wide. A lot of elite label for him comes from Boston media and fans hyping their guy, which is fair, but subjective. And I'm right about the difference between natural language evolution and market-driven inflation. The word elite has shifted because analytics in the post-2010 era made elite a handy shorthand for high-end performers in a lower-scoring league. Back in the 80s and 90s, only absolute superstars got that tag. Now with more parity and better defense, a 60-point player can feel elite in context. Video games, fantasy, and scouting baked it in as a tier, marketing and media hype. And so, yeah, it's just there's a marketing strategy angle here. It's not just words changing. It's the league's growth machine turning good into elite to keep casual fans hooked and sell jerseys. My instinct about that is close. Even though if it's not one person's fault, it's the whole ecosystem. Ecosystem. Echo. Got any echo in here? Good. Yeah, elite. It's when I hear the word elite, and generational, I kind of tune out a little bit. Yeah, it's just not, not for me. Like, who are you trying to impress? Is this like a chick talk? Seriously, because there's a lot of chicks in the front offices in leagues, and I mean that nicely. Come on, I'm not punching down on any marginalized people or on any vulnerable communities or individuals or groups or genders. I'm teasing in a way, but there's also a ring of truth to it as well. Is it the chick in charge of the media machine, of the social media account? Just all the puppies and photos of fashions and stuff. It's just, and then the overuse of the locker room nicknames. That's just such the overuse of the word filthy. It's all of these things are like the most unguy things. We say nasty, oh, that was nasty. Yeah, but filthy though, that's like, it sounds like such chick talk. It really does. Oh man. But hey, what do I know? What's next on the list, Pikachu? Check. Oh, we have the show. Yeah. Thing here. We are going to look at something real quick. Excuse me. Present. In Lordosis. What's Lordosis? Well, this is the show where you learn something about something. Lordosis is what you would know as twerking. Think Miley Cyrus in front of George Michael shaking that thing. We're gonna look. One of my least favorite conversations to have in a hockey conversation, like what if the season ended today? Where would things stand? What if the season ended today? And I think it's kind of a boring conversation, but we're gonna say, what if the season ended today? Because I want to show. Well, firstly, we're going to look at the Atlantic Division. This is my division in hockey. You see that? 8 teams. 32 teams in the league. We got 4 divisions, 2 conferences. East Conference, Western Conference. The Atlantic Division, Detroit, 46 games played, are leading in first place by 1 point, 1 standing point. What's a standings point? You get 2 standings points for a win. You get none for a loss, and you get 1 for the overtime loss. Oh, an overtime win goes into the win column. It replaces the tie. You get the old tie because an overtime loss is also a shootout loss, but you don't need to put a 4th column. And this is a lot more simple. We used to have overtime losses and ties in hockey as well. Like back in NHL 2002, I'm a video game I'm playing right now. So there were 4 columns, and that was a little cumbersome, to be honest. It's just like, wow, look at all these. No. 3. This is a lot better. See, Tampa Bay has played 3 less games than Detroit, and they're in 2nd place. So by virtue of that, they're kind of the better team in a way. The Montreal Canadiens, who are on fire. 45 games, they're at 56 points. And then begins, see, those first 3 teams go to the playoffs. So if today, the season ended today, those would be those 3 teams are in. Same for their Metropolitan Division too. So that would be 6 of the 8 playoff teams. 16 teams go to the postseason. That is literally half the league. NHL playoffs take about 2 months. We call it the second season for a reason. Then what happens? There's the wild cards. And the wild cards are the 2 teams that make it in the playoffs based upon overall points. So you have that cutoff there at between 3rd and 4th place. Let's look at that. You have 2 teams tied for 4th place with 52 points, the resurgent Buffalo Sabres and the mediocre Boston Bruins, who are grinders and pluggers and come out to play. 1 point behind them are the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then come the rest, the Florida Panthers, the Stanley Cup defending 2-time Stanley Cup defending champions, back-to-back wins. How are they ever going to make it to the playoffs if they can't make it to their own conference at 49 points? And then the Ottawa Senators, 2019 at 45 points, and they're in 8th place with 45 points. Now, these numbers are, let's remember these numbers, the lowest numbers here and the mid numbers when we look at the Pacific Conference, in the Pacific Division, rather, in the Western Conference. Every team is over 500 here in the Eastern Conference. Only recently, oh wow, it was last night's game too. All right, every team is still at 500 in the Metropolitan Division. Columbus was under 500 for one game, for a couple of days. Then they won their last game. So they are back at 500, being a 19-19. Let's see. Still 45 points. Same as our last place. So our 52 points match 3rd and 4th place in the Metropolitan. But so who would get the wild card? Would it be us? Not right now, because by nature, if the season ended today, it's kind of weird because it's about total games played. At the end of the season, all the teams will have played 82 games. So there's like some teams that have played 3 less games than the Boston Bruins and the Detroit Red Wings, who have played 46 games. The most that you could be. All teams have played between 43 and 46 games so far. So that's always been one of my stinkers for, well, if the season ended today, because it's kind of inaccurate because you didn't play the full schedule. So it's always been a kind of a bunk thing, way to lead off a conversation. I'm doing this to just show how blessed we could be by realizing how much action and talent is here in the East. And this we're going to see some insane fights for playoff spots after March. If the trade deadline is the first week of March, so you're going to see a lot of activity. Maybe then after the Olympics, we're going to talk about the Olympics. When the Olympics end? The Olympics end about a week and a half before the trade deadline. There's also going to be a roster freeze during the Olympic break as well. There's no trades and no waivers, I guess. I haven't even asked Rock about that. I should have. Because we're going to talk about the Olympic break right after this. But then we look at the Western Conference. This is ESPN, the website, ESPN.com, NHL standings. I like this page because you can see a lot. Colorado Avalanche have 4 regulation losses, and they got 2 losses in a row just last week. And it's just so they had 2 regulation losses like coming into the new year. Are you kidding me? They are a juggernaut right now, but they might be burnt. The flame that burns twice as bright lasts twice as less long. But look at that, 73 points. And then Dallas and Minnesota tied for second with 61 points each. Then come the Utah Mammoth at 48 points. Nashville at 46. Blackhawks at 45 points. Remember, the Bruins have 52 points. And as of right now, if the season ended today, they wouldn't make the playoffs. And they are better teams than this Western Conference here in the Central Division. Look at that. And then the Pacific Division, too. The Vegas Golden Knights at 54 points. First place team. They're 21 wins, 11 losses, 12 overtime losses. So that's 12 points. They have 54 points. The Bruins have 52. The Bruins would be in second place in the Pacific Division. And so it's kind of like you have to wait till the end of the season how all of these things are going to pan out when all the points are in. But look at that. Most of the teams on paper in the Atlantic are better than all the top teams in the Pacific. The San Jose Sharks with 49 points would be getting into the playoffs right now. And let's look at this. Now let's resort these expanded stats here. Let's look at these stats. And now we have resorted them by conference, by 1, 2, 3, and the 2 wild cards. Now look at this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is how, if the season ended today, this is how the playoffs would look. And it's 1-8, and it's 2-7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. And those wouldn't sort out until after, until the sorting hat comes out and Harry Potter takes his nimbus. And it doubles as a hockey stick. But the Buffalo Sabres would be in, and the Washington Capitals would be in. I think, and because the Washington Capitals and the Bruins both have 52 points, and the Bruins seem to have a better, have more wins, but it must come down to the goal differential that sorts that, I think, or maybe the home away. Let's see. Bruins have a better home record. Yeah. Wonder what is the criteria. Wow. What is the... Why would the Capitals make the playoffs if not the Bruins if the season ended today? I'm asking Google. If the Capitals made the playoffs and the Bruins didn't as the season ended, it would be due, and I didn't. Why would the Capitals? Let's rephrase that question. Why would the Capitals, based on today's wild card standings? Let me rephrase that. Okay, for the Capitals to make the playoffs over the Bruins if the season ended today, it would mean the Capitals have a significantly more points in the Eastern Conference, likely, hopefully standing or a wild card spot. Possibly, no, they have the same record. Okay, let's reframe this question again. With less wins, Let's see. The playoff seeding relies on total points, not just wins, and tiebreakers, and head-to-head records or goal differentials, meaning a team with fewer points, with more points but fewer wins, ranks higher than a team with fewer total points. Oh. It is. So it's got to be the Bruins have more overtime losses, less overtime losses. So they got more overtime. So that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I think it's the goal differential thing. Because the Caps are at a plus 17 and the Bruins are at a plus 6. That means overall, this entire season, the Bruins have scored 152. The Bruins are 152 to 146 in this season. That means overall, like the Bruins won the other night, 1-0 or 10-2 versus the Rangers. So this is right now we're winning the season because we're 6 points above 0. You know what I mean? We're not minus. On the other hand, Washington is 17 goals, or plus 17. That's how that figures. Insane. Indeed. Where's that standings page? But yeah, the Bruins would be on the outside looking in. Seriously. And over on the other side, Seattle and LA. But the Metropolitan Division's been on fire most of all season. So out in the East here, it's really tight. In the West, you have 3 breakaway teams. This is what it's probably going to look like in the Central. Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota, if anyone can catch them now. But look at the Pacific. I mean, Edmonton and San Jose, 51 and 49 points. Wow. I mean, look at and we would be in the outside looking in. Ain't that something? Let's get back to business here. The NHL will be taking a break. Oh boy. Is there a roster freeze? An NHL roster freeze during the Olympics? Searching the web. Thank you, Grok. Yes, the NHL implements a special roster freeze, also referred to as a trade freeze, from 3 p.m. Eastern Time on February 4th, 2026 through 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on February 22nd, 2026. During this period, which covers the Olympic break, the NHL regular season pauses from February 6th through February 24th for the Milano Cortina Games, running the 11th to the 22nd. Teams cannot make trades, place players on waivers, or execute loans/transfers that would alter rosters. This freeze creates an unofficial mini deadline around February 4th as GMs rush to complete deals beforehand, especially sellers looking to move assets, since the regular trade deadline isn't until March 6th. Many analysts note this compresses the market, with some teams preferring to wait until after the February 22nd to assess injuries from Olympic play before making big moves. This is a one-off adjustment due to the NHL's return to the Olympics, the first time since 2014. The NHL also will return to the Olympics next Winter Olympics in 2030 in the French Alps. That I read that as part of the collective bargaining agreement extension and amendments that was ratified and passed this past summer, July 2025. Hey, I love this sport. I learned more and more about this, man. But yeah, that's the Olympic break. We're coming up to the Olympic break. It's a month away. Seriously, there's going to be 3 more weeks of hockey, and then some of your players go to represent their teams. Most of these players are going to be conditioning, exercising, skating, doing drills, maybe taking their family to Disneyland. Wouldn't that be nice? But there's like all this controversy too about the NHL. Like, oh, the rosters have been announced. I mean, the Bruins have 7 Olympians, maybe 8, representing their Pasta, Zaka, of course they're going. Charlie McAvoy, that they're going for Team Czechia. We used to call it Czech Republic. One player from Latvia, but I think he's a Providence Bruins player. Elias Lindholm will be playing for Team Sweden. I think they're going to win. Hampus is injured, can't play anyway. He didn't get selected. Or is it the other way around? I can't tell. I mean, I don't know. There's some weirdness going on at the hockey rinks that they're being built. I asked Rock who's to blame for this. Okay, because the NHL went and saw the rink, and it's actually a little smaller than an NHL rink, like dimension wise. Somebody screwed up. The builders, whoever laid the foundation for the rinks itself. So where the coils are, that chill everything. Huh? Where was I? Oh, smoking puck? What's that? I just paused it. You got up for a second. Sometimes when you're YouTubing, you gotta get up and move your legs a little bit, especially if you have boy parts. You don't want to be called numbnuts and deserve it. Okay. But I asked Grok about tell me more about the error of why the error in fabrication of the rink size. Who is to blame? If the NHL can make a rink in a baseball or a football stadium, what's so impossible here that the International Ice Hockey Federation hasn't fixed this yet? Does this boil down to cheap internal politics, such as all of these European sports federations and committees, Olympic committees, FIFA, like especially international football? Everything is just everything has this reputation of being corrupt, and there's briberies and usury and nepotisms and all those juicy words that you're just like. But it's like if you, and then it's like one of these things you have to pretend that there's nothing chintzy going on until like after the event's over, and then there's always something going on. And but I was like, tell me, does this boil down to cheap internal politics, like this kind of this reputation of everything is corrupt in international sports on an organizational level? I'm not saying that about the players or the talent or anything. Now there were like the Russian doping allegations from Olympics past, where that involved greater scrutiny when it comes to the steroid use with players. Yeah, that was see there's things that come out of it. Sure. But there's like name me a sports organization more corrupt than than some of the. I mean, I almost said it out loud. I don't want to get sued. I don't know, but remember, satire. I'm not punching down on any marginalized groups, but I'm also not punching up at any anyone. Just like these big organizations. I mean, it's like just look at American politics. You can't punch up anymore because people are just get really sore about that, and so the error in the rink size at the Milano Santa Giulia arena stems from a construction mishap during the building process, where the ice surface ended up being fabricated approximately 3 feet shorter than the standard NHL dimensions, which were 196.85 feet long by 85.3 feet wide, compared to the NHL's typical 200 feet by 85 feet. So no 0.3 inches, no, just that would be 4 inches. So it's 2 inches wider on each side. Okay, maybe they must have lasers. But it's 3 feet shorter, 3.5, almost 3 feet shorter, end to end. And so, but there's like this whole like they're trying to put a kibosh on it, like, oh, what is the big deal about it? You silly Americans, you naive American, you don't understand it over here. How you ignorant, you ugly American. I'm not punching down on any Europeans. This is more of a pastiche, a caricature, a kind of a fun, some satirical kind of thing. You know what I mean? Maybe in the vein of like Steve Martin's stand-up actor from the 1970s. You stupid Americans. You naive Americans. Oh, shit. My hat hit my mic. I hope it just... My mic's feeling temperamental. I'll be nicer to you. I'm sorry. This deviation violated the prior agreement between the NHL, the NHL's Player Association, and the International Ice Hockey Federation, and the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, which called for the NHL standard sizing to accommodate professional player safety. The issue wasn't a deliberate design choice, but likely resulted from errors in laying the under-ice infrastructure, such as the cooling coils, the refrigeration pipes that maintain ice. If those were installed incorrectly or undersized, extending the rink post-construction could compromise the ice's structural integrity, leading to uneven freezing, soft spots, or hazard, like the hole that appeared during the January 9th test event. So yeah, there was a test event that was it was at the arena, the Olympic hockey arena, January 12th, 2026. Did I have the stats up the entire time? No, I don't have it up. Okay, good. Olympic arena test event disrupted by... Now, this is the same arena so they haven't fixed it. They haven't adjusted the size. So this happened anyway. Because it's all about, the players are like, don't worry, we can play anywhere. And it's kind of like this point of contention. So the political thing is like, the designers did it despite the NHL, because we're the NHL to tell us here in Olympic hockey land anything about how to build an ice hockey rink. Take this, NHL. This is just a feeling. It's a gut feeling. I'm using the force. Olympic arena test event disrupted by hole in ice. Olympic organizers are 100% confident the NHL won't pull out of the Milan Cortina Games, with the new ice hockey arena finally ready, or almost. Construction delays and other concerns about the Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena have drawn headlines for weeks ahead of the NHL returning to the Winter Olympics for the first time since 2014, and the women's tourney opening on February 5th. The NHL has expressed concern about the construction and quality of the ice surface. The NHL's Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly said last month in Winnipeg that the league would not send its players if there were any safety concerns. I am very confident they will be here. It is going to be extremely exciting. Ducre said, we are very excited. They are coming back. 12 years. This is just me being funny. This is not pushing down on anyone. I don't even know if he's French. I could be dead wrong. His name's Pierre Ducre. He sounds French. Would I be wrong? This is what Sully does. Okay, this is what he does. He right clicks. He highlights it. He right clicks it, and then he does he was born in Switzerland. No, he's the sports director. It's like there was the one born in Switzerland. He's been working for his biography. It doesn't really mention him like anything about it, like himself, just about it. It's like he's got 2 master's degrees in international relations and sports management. Dude, he worked for the UN. So this guy's like serious. Where am I? But the IOC sports director, we're very excited. There's a lot of work from a lot of people to make sure this happens. So yes, you will have NHL players here in February, and it's going to be amazing. And this is what happened. A hole. Florian Weiser, who played in a game, posted to social media. It was a small hole that was fixed in 5 minutes. The ice was really good. I was surprised how good it was, and it will only get better. Let's see. It was the first test match. It doesn't even say who the test matches. They should have had the at least give me the names of the 2 teams. Like, it would have been more appropriate to say Florian. Braxton Coggers, Florian Weiser, who played in the game. Would have been more. It's Sportsnet. This Sportsnet's Canada. This is a Canadian hockey column. Yes. We are pleased with the progress. And I heard that and this is could be just Olympic bluster. I've heard that it's very messy there. They could probably they have a deadline. Maybe they just need a deadline. Meet their deadline. I was very last minute oriented, at one part in my life. The NHL only learned about the discrepancy in the ice in early December of 2025, well after foundational work was done, making a retrofit impractical without major delays. The blame of this falls primarily on the local organizing committee and contractors handling the arena's construction, as they were responsible for executing to build to specification. And that comes from the Sports Business Journal. Sports Business Journal. That's respectable, news sources. The International and Olympic Committee bears some responsibility too, as it pushed for a new 16,000 seat venue, later reduced to 11,800 due to ongoing issues. It doesn't get into what the ongoing issues were. Instead of repurposing Milan's existing 16,000 capacity arena, citing legacy requirements despite the added complexity and cost. Construction started post 2019, but the post bid award, but was hampered by the COOF. Can we still say? Do we still say COOF? Do we still say a virus of unknown origin? Virus of unknown origin. Am I allowed to say I'm not going to say it. No, you say it. In the comment section. Fill in my blank in the comment section. I challenge you, oh dear listener, oh dear viewer, oh dear watcher, oh dear subscriber. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the best time in the world to subscribe to the best hockey show you're just turning on to. It is the Smoking Puck, the Boston-based and Bruins-biased hockey show. And we just sit around talking about hockey. And it's time to wrap up the show. I might not get to that last. It's the hockey rink. I mean, whose fault is it? Well, whoever built it. But they call the differences insignificant, and it won't affect safety or play. But this has drawn fire from NHL officials and coaches who see it as a sloppy oversight. but it's like that's a foot and a half at each end, and it's 2 inches in width. I mean, yes, mistakes were made, and accountabilities will be had, and we will go forward together. Though I don't think there's a problem. I don't think that's any reason to stop the music and to gum up the gears. I mean, if it was something a bit more salient, such as like security at the bungalows or something like that, or letting Jeremy Roenick in the hotel room, you never want to do that during the Olympics. The Nagano Olympics, there's like some kind of legendary story about Jeremy Roenick. He got into some trouble. You know, it was back in his wild days, man. That was the 96. Let me look that up real quick. It's a fun story. Nagano hotel room. I put in four words: Roenick, Nagano, hotel, and room. Let's hit enter. Who trashed the rooms? It's been a couple of weeks. Which members of Team USA trashed the hotel rooms? AI overview. It refers to the 1998 Winter Olympics incident where U.S. hockey player Jeremy Roenick and teammates were being investigated for allegedly damage to their hotel rooms involving broken furniture, with Roenick claiming the furniture was flimsy and broke easily. A story that became infamous and highlighted tensions between NHL players and Olympic accommodations. Yeah, it was like they might have just had a wild party. They just like all went rock star. That's funny. All right. Yeah, so that's the hubbub about the Olympics. The Olympics have they're coming, and the NHL is taking a break for 3 weeks, and that's why you have this condensed schedule, and reports of player fatigue, and 2 roster freezes in one season. You had the Christmas time roster freeze, and now we're going to have a 3-week roster freeze with no trades, no waivers, no changing your roster is allowed in this break. And it's interesting because looking at the other segment too about statistics, some teams want change. Some teams know that they are so close to the playoffs and making it this year, because making it to the playoffs sometimes is all that matters. Ask the Florida Panthers. Seriously, there's that famous Louis DeBrusque hand pass call. I mean, if it's legendary in Boston. If there was no hand pass, that goal would never have gotten pulled back, and we would have probably have won Game 6. And you know, there's a lot of what ifs and whataboutisms to the myth of Louis DeBrusque's hand pass about what the possibility could have been. The Bruins always could have come back and just won that game as well. They could have worked harder or differently. What if? What happened was the Florida Panthers beat us in the first round of the playoffs and went on to win the Stanley Cup. They were the 8th seed. Yeah, we don't talk about that in our home, please. I was going to end with Hampus Lindholm. He got injured again. He's injury prone. We've got him for 8 years. He's a really good defenseman. The Bruins are better with him on the ice. But what about Hampus Lindholm injury status is an undisclosed injury. It's lower body, placed there after the January 3rd game against the Canucks and considered day-to-day. Although he's missed games with the team hoping for his return as soon as early as January 2006, with reports that he's skating, but he's not ready for game action. Yeah, he's day-to-day, but I mean, he needs to heal, or he's coming back from injury. He's gonna been dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight again, hasn't he? Hampus, Hampus, Hampus. I think, can you hear me? Hampus, can you hear me? Didn't I? Okay. Oh, I did. Okay, good. This is why I have a show. What I do is like the Carrie Bradshaw technique in Sex and the City. She would ask a question, and that would be the thesis statement of her article. It would also be the clever device that all four characters are suffering through or going through in that episode in the 22 minutes. Brilliant show, Sex and the City. Everyone should watch that. Bruins defenseman. Yeah, tell me about water being wet. This is what so people are, you don't know who Hampus Lindholm is. He's a really good player, and but he's had multiple upper and lower body setbacks since 2017. He's a Swedish defenseman known for his smooth skating, strong puck-moving abilities, and two-way play. He's a mobile, all-around blue liner with good size. He's 6'4", 217 pounds. He's 31 years old, and he's in the third year, I believe, of an 8-year contract with us. He started with the Anaheim Ducks, and he came over in a pretty big trade as well, where we traded 2 players and 3 draft picks for him, and he signed an 8-year extension right after that. But he's injury prone at this point, and he missed a shitload of games for us already. 56 games with a fractured kneecap last season. In 2023, 2024. That was 24-25 was last season. They were in 25-26. So 2 seasons ago, he was out. He played 17 games that season. Earlier this season, was lower body, unrelated to his knee. He missed 9 games. In late 2025, he had an undisclosed lower body injury. Thank you. And then what happened in Seattle on January 5th. And Coach Sturp said it wasn't a day-to-day thing. He'll be out for a little bit. And this prompted the water being wet comment someone said, and water's wet. Kevin Paul DuPont, Hampus Lindholm's injured, not day-to-day. And you'd have the Sturm quote, and then someone was like, water being wet. And I'm like, that's a great way to put it. I need to remember water being wet for the show. It's an 8-year, $52 million deal with a cap hit of $6.5 million a year. Now, this is the thing about injury and about how bad is Hampus Lindholm's injury? What is he willing to do? Because he's a competitor, he's an athlete. He wants to be playing. He doesn't want to be injured. He doesn't want to be on the long-term injury list, reserve list, LTIR. Because if a player goes on the long-term injury reserve list, it's a different category. In the salary cap, where prorated, you can use that money, that $6.5 million of his, as value to sign another player for the duration of Hampus Lindholm's injury. As soon as Hampus comes back, the value gets put back onto the salary cap, and by signing a player or players to cover up, you would go over. So that it means you need to make some deals, cut some players loose. It is the game within the game. It is the salary cap era, and this is the Game of Thrones of salary caps. Pika, why do you write this stuff down? I am just the talent. I'm reading from a script. Yes. And his contract expires in 29-30 when he'll be an unrestricted free agent at the age of 36. And if Hampus goes on the long-term injury reserve, I mean, it doesn't mean that his $6.5 million is available for, it doesn't come off the team's books. Like, the team still pays him. That's his contract. That's what he's getting. But in the salary cap era, the salary cap of the team, the books, it's like when the player goes on long-term injury reserve, you get you get something out of that relative to how big the contract is. His cap still counts against the salary cap, but long-term injury reserve allows the team to exceed the upper limit of the cap by a calculated amount called the LTIR pool, or relief, to add a replacement players during his absence. This relief is only temporary and only applies while he is on the LTIR, the long-term injury reserve. The team must become cap compliant again upon his activation. So when Hampus Lindholm comes back from injury, they would have to do something with the roster to accommodate him coming back. But the longer he's out, the more we could, would that be better for the team? I'm just going to ask. If Lindholm can't, he's got to come back at a certain percentage. He's been injured a few times. I mean, is he still one of our top 3 defensemen? That's a good question. That's a personal question, I guess, or an opinion, or because he's such a good player, and that's why we got him, was to be one of our top 3 defensemen. Someone out there with Charlie McAvoy, the future of the defensive core of the team. He is. The future is now. This is the Charlie McAvoy era. If I had to say anything, but is it the Pasternak era, the Sturm era? No, this is the Charlie McAvoy years. I mean, he was our rookie. He's been here the entire time. He's been, with Chara. He's been with Martian. He's been with Patrice Bergeron. I mean, he's been well mentored as a Boston Bruin. So, I mean, he could be our next captain. He really could. That would make complete sense. More than Pasta. I'm for Nikita Zadorov. You know that, because I'm a Martian guy. And this is a pre-A shirt too. I wish I had an A for it, but I have an A on that one. I don't have a captain's jersey for him. I wish I did. I could probably still get one cheap at this point. And but back to the salary cap here, and then we're gonna wrap the show up. Places to be, blah blah blah. Is my thingy still on? Oh boy! See, I'm trying to set timers, for each segment, and I keep going over, and then I forget to run it again for the next one. Oh, darn it, Pikachu! You and your chronometers and your systems here. Couldn't we just have an organic, burning, smoking puck to just pass around? To the left, to pass the Dutchie to the left-hand side, puff, puff, pass, and pass the puck, pass that smoking puck. Seriously, pass the smoking puck to another hockey fan. Next time they come, bring a friend, and be your little sleeper cell of hockey goodness. It's our Boston-based Bruins Buys Hockey Talk. And, but back just to wrap up the long-term injury thing, because this happens for every team. I mean, look at Tyler Seguin over in Dallas. He might be done for the year. He should be done for the year. I hear he got a pretty nasty injury, and they need to be the Dallas Stars need to be able to, fill that spot. You can't replace Tyler Seguin. You can only get another player, even a rental. That's what they call a rental. You know what I mean? Something like that. But going back to the trade deadline and the roster freeze, all of these teams are now thinking hey, someone like Dallas could go pretty far in the playoffs. What would they need? and who are they willing to give up? And now with someone like Tyler Seguin on the long-term injury reserve, and if they lose him for the entire year, if we lose Hampus Lindholm for the rest of the year, we get his full value, I believe. But if he's on, if Lindholm goes on the long-term injury reserve, the maximum relief is capped at the prior year's league average salary. So the regardless of his 6.5 million annual average value, if he's ruled out for the entire remainder of the regular season and playoffs, there's a new season-ending LTIR that's a designation which requires legal approval. The team could access relief up to his full 6.5 million. That's a new rule in the new CBA, which is interesting because that works. That could, but they're only going to get, regardless of how much he gets paid this season, the Bruins would be able to, and the Dallas Stars, I guess, as well, because it would be the league average, which is 3.81 million a year. Your average Joe Schmo player, Gordon McKenzie from Parry's Wharf, Manitoba. What? A wharf in Manitoba? Shut up. Just go with it, you hosehead. See, there I go again. I'm not punching down on any cultures, nations. I love Canadians. I love Canadian girls. I love watching Smallville. I called it the Canadian Catfight Show. Love Smallville. Smallville's a great show. But okay, back to action. The so relief. It's unlikely that Lindholm's going to qualify as a season-ending injury, or maybe we don't know yet. It hasn't been disclosed. So relief would be limited to about 3.82 million max. So that means you can spend that on one player, you can spend that on two players, and try to get some help on the team. But that's not, But as soon as Lindholm comes back, you need to do something about your roster to accommodate. However, you can go $3.82 million over your salary cap. Where's that coming out of? Who's got to go? Will the tribe speak? The island is spoken. The survivor thing. The coconut putting out the fire. Just is that what they used to say? The tribe is spoken. Let me know in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. There is a sliding table of dates that decrease the available amount to relative to the AAV. I asked another follow-up question, such as about that. Do you get when a player gets traded to your team, and say in the Lindholm trade, when he got traded to the Bruins, Anaheim retained 50% of the pre-existing contract. Now the contract extension was an extension to his contract, so it started on the date of the final day of the last day of his previous contract. That's when Anaheim would stop paying him that 50% into that. But the Bruins, for the remainder of that one season, that would pay that 50% at a prorated based upon the number of games left. So it'd be basically negotiating with your landlord, hey, I was here only here the first month 16 days. Why do I got to pay the full month rent? I've done that before. Come on, give me some fours up, give me some 6-3s in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. You ever done that one before? I may have done that twice. Yo, who cares about 6-7, 6-3, 6-3? Awesome sauce. Let's wrap it up though. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. This has been the Smoking Puck. This has been the Boston-based Bruins bias hockey show. And tune in, bring a friend, suggest, subscribe, share, leave a comment, smash that hype button, smash that. If you didn't like it, smash that down like button. We're big lads here. We can take that. But any of these lets the algorithm know that this is a show worthy of your time. So God bless, namaste, good luck, and pass that smoking puck. You know what I mean? Light it up. Huzzah!